And this competition replay was sent in by the user 9K Pitcher. That is 9K Pitcher. And he's driving the SU-12244 on an assault battle on Karelia. SU-12244 is a premium tier 7 tank destroyer for the Russians. A lot of people cry OP when it comes to this tank destroyer, and that's just because it has half decent armor when it's in a tier 7 only battle. But the main thing is this cannon that it has. As the standard cannon that the old KV-1S used to have, and the IS gets 122mm with the 175 pen, 390 damage. But as you can see on the reticule there, it gets absolutely ridiculous reload speed of 6.75 seconds, which means when you get this thing set up and pointed at an enemy, you can absolutely obliterate them with just the rate of fire, especially with how the enemy's generally not expecting the rate of fire that you're going to be able to pump out. It's a great shot on that Panzer 4H there. But with this being an assault battle, it means that you can't sit back and relax. You've got to continue pressing, and you've got to go for that base, especially with only 10 minutes on an assault battle. And you can't just sit back and try and whittle down the enemy, who will almost certainly be in defensive positions. 9K Pitcher decides to go charging around the corner. He's got the support of a Comet behind him. Comet takes out the Sherman 3 nicely. Bounces a hit from the T-20 there. Not sure who's in the distance. There's at least a few more tanks, though, as that Comet gets taken out by the 3601. Beautiful shot on the T-20 there. Takes a hit back from the T-20. And it takes out some of his hit points in this fuel tank. Not that fuel tank matters, but it's a little bit of a shame to lose some hit points there. Only got 840, which isn't very many. But then again, not many of the tanks at this tier are able to kick out huge amounts of alpha damage. Got some support now in the form of these medium tanks and that AT-2. Oh, and he catches a T-34-85 out in the open. T-34-85 stops. He gets hit in the side. That's a huge amount of damage, and that's pretty much the end of his game. Gonna see if somebody else can spot him before he takes his second shot. Decides to just fire it blind. But it looks like the T-34-85 ain't that dumb, and he's moved off in this time. Has another shot, but definitely the T-34-85's almost certainly moved away now. Trying to line up a shot on this VK-3601, but whilst keeping the bush between himself and his target. But it looks like the rock face was just in the way. T-20 was spotted there as well. So just having a quick look around, playing this one slow and methodical. 3 minutes down, he's got 1,500 points of damage. T-20 shows himself again, fires his shot, gets a huge amount of damage. That was a nice roll there. 467 points of damage onto that T-20. And he thinks that's probably about all the damage he's going to be able to get from this position. T-34-85 shows up again. He decides to switch across to this VK-3601. Lets his gun close in all the way. Has his shot. Looks like that one very unfortunately landed on the super angled side of that 3601 there. Didn't do any damage. That one didn't do any damage either. So VK-3601 coming up big with the survivability here. Doesn't take any damage in return and finally gets a hit through the front armor of that 3601. He's decided that he's been caught out in the middle of the open. He decides to try and fall back. Another shot bouncing. VK-3601, really, really good tank apparently. But not a match for the SU-12244. Shot in the fog of war, manages to go through his armor, takes him out for the kill. Now he's going to advance forward. We've taken out most of the tanks on this side. Looks like the enemy team invested a hell of a lot of tanks over here, because there are still quite a few of them. Can't quite get an angle on most of the guys hiding there. The Jagdpanther, the T-25-2 or the T-20. Gonna play this one patiently. Looks like that allied T-20 isn't making moves forward to scout. They haven't got that many tanks in the south. And not winning this one actually. I hadn't looked at the score until this point, and I felt like they were way ahead, but they're actually losing this one 7 kills to 8. So it looks like 9k Pitcher's going to have to come forward and come up big for his team. He's making a move up to the bush here. I'm going to see if he can get a hit on this Jagdpanther if he peeks. Both the T20s behind him playing very, very passively. Lines up a shot and gets a beautiful penetration on that Jagdpanther. Did not expect that one to go through. Jagdpanther makes a run for it. Not sure where he thinks he's going to go, because he gets taken out now by the second shot. And just like I said, the reload of this tank will definitely catch your opponents off guard. Lines up a shot on the T25-2. Doesn't take any damage himself. He's in a nice position where his lower plate is defended. See the T25-2 trying to fire a shot on his right-hand side to try and take out his track and get some damage on his lower plate. But he had that one defended. Gets a beautiful shot on the side of the... on the front of the 122-44. Takes a hit from the T20. Pretty sure that's the only guy who's damaged him so far this game. He's got two T20s to back him up here. Guys in the far south not doing a grand job themselves. They can't really push in very far. The guys on the right-hand side have evened this game up at 8 kills to 8 now. Thanks to 9k Pitcher. He's going to make a move to the centre of the map. Going to try and flank around behind these guys. You see the T20s, the pair of T20s in the north there. Both a little reluctant to push forward, despite the fact that they're both on full health. 9k Pitcher. He's going to try and get around behind these tanks now. Take them by surprise. Finds the SU-122-44. If he can get a nice roll, he could take him out. Unfortunately, he missed. Finds the GW Panther, though. I don't think he realises he's been spotted. I think he realises now as he's been taken out. Although he did look like he's just one-shotted one of the allied T-20s. I didn't see the T-20 take any damage earlier. So that may have been a one-shot. But that's kill number 3 now for 9k Pitcher. Still losing this one at 9 kills to 10. Got a T20 all the way in the back there on the A line at A8. He needs to move forward, really. There isn't much he's going to be able to do from that position, considering that the enemy team isn't going to push out, as there's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. See people in chat telling him to get a move on. He's got... 9k Pitcher's got to get this SU out of the way first before he can make a move forwards. Lines up his front plate. Gets a beautiful shot onto him to take him out for kill number 4. And with that gone, he's in two minds whether to turn his attention to the left-hand side or the right-hand side. I think he decides to go right-hand side instead, because there is that T20 and the T25-2 over there. You can see they're both on low hit points. In fact, everybody on the enemy team is on low health. KV-13's done a good job in the south there of staying alive. Trying to keep the corpse of this Jagdpanther between himself and the T25-2. Takes some damage, but he's got all the time in the world to let his gun close in. That's kill number 5. Now he's going to try and hunt down this T20. Lines up the left-hand side of the rock. His gun's reloaded well in time. Takes his shot, takes his kill. Kill number 6. And 5,000 points of damage. KV-13's fallen now. Starting to think the T20 on A8 may be AFK, although it looks like he has actually, for some reason, dropped further back. He's now coming forwards. He gets taken out. Takes out the Panzer Soufflé for a beautiful shot. T-37 falling to the MT-25. Panther M10 not got very many hit points, so he decides to fall back into the ditch. Probably not got enough time to do a base capture by the time that T-20 arrives. There is only a minute left on the clock. So 9k Pitcher just decides he's going to charge down the Panther M10. He's got the hit points to absorb a couple of hits from him. But it looks like as the Panther M10... Nope, he's turned himself around. He's trying to make a run for it. That's his undoing. He gets taken out. That's 5,500 points of damage, 8 kills, and a very well-deserved Radley Walters medal. So excellent replay there from 9k Pitcher and the SU-122-44, coming up big for his team and just ruining the enemy team's day. So awesome replay. Thank you very much for sending that one in.